Next on Channel 7 News tonight, Congress gives an unwelcome civics lesson to Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. And police are asking for your help in finding the brutal murderer of a San Francisco visitor.
Oakland comes alive with a hoopla, parties, and fireworks for the All-Star celebration. And the state has millions in unclaimed money. We'll tell you how to find out if any of it's yours.
And in sports, it is the eve of the All-Star game in Oakland. We will chat with the newest media star, A's rookie Mark McGwire. I'm Pete Wilson with Suzanne Saunders. Mike Berry, meteorologist Steve Newman here for Pete Giddings tonight. It's all next. Channel 7 News tonight.
Anyone who offers you crack is not your friend. Say no. You be the boss.
Thursday, the victims of military medical malpractice. How the people who protect our country are not protected by the law. Watch 2020 Thursday.
Someone finally figured out how to make the ultimate cheeseburger. Leave it alone. I mean, why put on pickles and onions and all sorts of stuff so all you taste is the stuff and not the cheeseburger? Jack in the Box. They left it alone.
It's new at Jack in the Box restaurants, the ultimate cheeseburger. 2 quarter-pound beef patties, sauce, 3 kinds of cheese on a sesame bun for serious burger eaters.
I can't leave it alone.
Marty and George from the Sawmill. It happens only once a year, the Great American Oak Sale.
Sawmill solid wood furniture, a natural for your home. Mother Nature, in everything you see. Sawmill solid wood furniture, with quality from.
Shop the Sawmill near you for great savings on oak furniture.
Once you look through a Minolta Maxxum, you'll never see life the same way again. Maxxum, the world's first SLR with built-in autofocus. 26 autofocus lenses capture the action as only you see it. Minolta Maxxum, let your creativity come to life. The Maxxum system, oh, the things you'll do.
Only you and the mind of Minolta.
Meet a couple whose marriage survived infidelity next time.
Pete Wilson, Suzanne Saunders, Mike Berry with sports, and Pete Giddings with weather. This is Channel 7 News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and it certainly has been a good evening in Oakland, where an all-star game and a necklace of lights came together tonight to give the city a much-needed reason to celebrate. In a year of celebrations really all across the Bay, Oakland wanted to play second fiddle to no one. Jennifer Olney is live in the other city by the Bay tonight. Jennifer?
That's right, Pete. Oakland has said all along that they wanted to top the big fireworks shows in San Francisco in the last couple of months, and tonight they sure gave it the old college try.
Fantastic. It's just like a kid in Disneyland.
What do you think this says about the city of Oakland?
I don't know, but I'd love to see him bring the Raiders back and do the same thing.
It was real good. What did you think?
It's great for the city of Oakland. We got the All-Star game, we got the fireworks, we got everything. The city of Oakland is great this year. 87. Woo!
The weather was beautiful and the crowd was well behaved. And for most of the evening, even the predicted gridlock didn't appear. But when the fireworks started, the traffic slowed down while drivers watched the show. What do you guys think of the fireworks?
It's nice. Great.
What are you doing down here?
Watching the fireworks.
Why didn't you stop?
Want to get no ticket?
The last big event of the evening was the lighting of the permanent necklace of lights around Lake Merritt. The lights were turned off during World War II, but after a 4-year fundraising effort, they are now shining again tonight. As you can see, the lights are lovely. They cost about $1.5 million. They still need to raise about $250,000 of that. There was a benefit tonight. They think they raised at least another $100,000. And I think most of the people here tonight think that that money was well worth it. Back to you, Pete.
It's been an extraordinary year for this sort of thing, and I guess Oakland really took part in that tonight. And thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer Olney again live by the necklace of lights, and it's nice. It's nice to see that.
Sure, and a lot of people putting in their own time and money to make it all happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't given
City
by
really
the city.
getting together, exactly.
Yeah. Well, the party around Oakland's Lake Merritt wasn't the only gala in town this All-Star Eve. While the athletes from the American and National Leagues will have their work cut out for them tomorrow, tonight there was time for play of another sort. And Channel 7's Janet Yee was on hand for that party.
The marquee at the Paramount welcomed hundreds of VIP guests. Foreseeing parking problems, special buses shuttled everyone to this invitation-only party. Invitations went out to all-star players, team owners, and the like.
Any curfew on the guys tonight?
No, only on the American League. The National League guys, I want them to stay out all night, get real tired, so it's an easy one-sided game tomorrow.
Oz, of course, is the owner of the Oakland A's, an American League team. But the real showdown isn't until tomorrow. Tonight, it's show time. The Four Tops took top billing with their Motown sound. While all this was going on, caterers put the finishing touches on the buffet dinner. The food was, well, it was interesting. Guests worked up their appetite nonetheless by walking 3 blocks to the Kaiser Center here. Now, this party really is a big deal. ESPN set up for live TV coverage, and CBS Radio did the same. And, of course, there were autographs from the baseball heroes, like Eric Davis, who some call the next Willie Mays.
How do you expect to do tomorrow?
Well, hopefully I expect to go out, and I'm not going to play a whole lot because I've been bothered by some sprained ligaments in my ankle, but I just want to go out there and not embarrass myself and help the team win the ball game.
Well, tonight at least, there were no embarrassments. Everything was very well coordinated.
Now, despite all of these parties and all of this fun, the All-Star Game has been plagued by several strikes. Luckily, the concessionaires at the Coliseum settled their dispute over the weekend. However, NABET, the Broadcasting Employees and Technicians Union, is striking NBC, and the TV Directors Guild is threatening to go out. All of this could affect the quality of the broadcast. Nonetheless, the first ball will be thrown tomorrow afternoon at 5:30, and the game is sold out. In Oakland, Janet Yee, Channel 7 News Tonight.
And now the latest on the DGA negotiations. They are still talking tonight. Film and TV producers and directors are holding a final round of informal negotiations aimed at averting a strike that could cripple the industry during one of its busiest times of the year. The Directors Guild represents nearly 8,500 people. Their first strike ever is set for 3 a.m. Pacific Time, 6 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. NBC, Columbia Pictures, and Warner Brothers have been targeted for selective walkouts, but the industry is also threatening a widespread lockout, so we will have to wait and see. We could be affected here as well.
Exactly. It could be all movies and television and all production in those 2 areas to stop. Well, the Iran-Contra hearings roared back to town today on an alternate track, switched there by the force of political magic. 26 senators and congressmen now skip gingerly over, under, and around, but never quite through Colonel Oliver North. Today, the lawmakers chose to lecture rather than cross-examine him. It was a simple strategy to prevent North's strong suit, turning answers into eloquent advocacy, and it worked. It didn't provide any new information, but it kept the heat off.
I'm very pleased and honored to have you before this committee. I think you've done so much.
You projected yourself as a person that cares about this country.
It's clear to me, and it's clear to the American people, that you're motivated by ideals, by love of country, and not the pursuit of profit.
I don't want you prosecuted. I don't. I don't think many people in America do.
The congressmen found some eloquence of their own today. George Mitchell on the nature of democracy and patriotism.
Of all the qualities which the American people find compelling about you, none is more impressive than your obvious, deep devotion to this country. Please remember that others share that devotion, and recognize that it is possible for an American to disagree with you on aid to the Contras and still love God and still love this country just as much as you do.
Warren Rudman on the judgment of the American people.
American people have the constitutional right to be wrong. And what Ronald Reagan thinks, or what Oliver North thinks, or what I think, or what anybody else thinks, makes not a whit if the American people say enough.
But the anticipation of the day, the story that a memo from Admiral John Poindexter somehow suggested the president endorsed the Contra money diversion, turned out to be stillborn. Congressman Cheney demanded that Chairman Inouye alter statements that got the media excited about that memo on Sunday.
Chairman, I've read that memo very carefully this morning.
And I don't find any reference in there at all to the notion of generating profits from selling arms to Iran, nor do I find any reference to the use of those profits in the memo that allegedly went to the president.
In fact, that memo was the subject of headlines in both of our San Francisco newspapers this morning, but later Senator Inouye explained that Cheney was correct, that the meaning of the memo had been exaggerated, at least by the press. More tomorrow at 6 a.m. on Channel 7. Then Wednesday, Robert McFarland with a surprise return visit to answer some of the charges of Oliver North. During the evening, we've been conducting a Channel 7 News opinion poll. The question is this time, do you think what Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North has admitted doing was wrong? Here are the results so far this evening. 48.1% of the callers voted yes. They do think what North did was wrong. 50.7% of the callers voted no. Fairly even split. Again, this is an unscientific poll, but if you'd like